Hey, how's it going, guys? JP here. Welcome back to another video series. This is my entire DVD and Blu-ray collection. I believe this is part 5. It's been a little while since I've done one of these, but I plan on recording a few right now, so I'll have them to upload. I did a video series like this a while back where I showed my entire collection, but it's grown so much since then I figured I would do an updated version for 2014. And with that said, we'll jump into this part, which is part number 5. First up, we have Black Sheep. I believe this comes out of New Zealand, put out by Dimension Extreme. This film is a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this one. Black Sheep, Killer Sheep, it's far less cheesy than it sounds. I mean, of course there's going to be some cheese there, but it's actually a really well-made film, you know, and technically shot, acted, the writing was good, the practical effects are good. Overall, just a really well-made movie that you really don't expect from the title and the concept. But Black Sheep I highly recommend. It's a lot of fun. Then we have a triple pack here, and we have Blood Gnome, which I recently watched. I did a review for it. It's not a very good movie, but the creature effects do kind of take you back to the times of ghoulies and critters and gremlins and stuff like that. So that's kind of cool. Just not a very well made movie at all. It's like a 4 out of 10. Really weird concept and bad acting all around. Just very low budget. Then we have Satan's Little Helper, which is actually a pretty solid one. It's set on Halloween. I didn't love it, but I did think it was pretty cool. I do recommend that one. It's pretty funny at times. Good horror comedy. And then Spliced, which I haven't seen yet. Next up, we have Alien Raiders. Now this one, based on the title, you would think, it sounds kind of bad, but it's actually not. It's one of those films that just, they picked a terrible, not creative title that just gets, you look at it and you're like, that sounds so generic. But it actually is a really good movie, pretty solid. I really did kind of enjoy this one. I did a review on it a while back. Then we have a weird edition of Battle Royale 2. I don't love this film. I like the first one a lot better. It definitely is an interesting film, and I think a lot of people would like it more than me. There's just things that I would have liked to go a different way in this film. This edition is, I don't know if it's like a Japanese edition. It is region free, but it's definitely not from the US. The subtitles were very bad, like just badly translated. It just were made the film really hard to follow. So this edition is I don't know. I got it in a contest. I don't even know where it came from. So yeah, this is not the edition you want. After that, we have Atrocious, which is put out by Bloody Disgusting Selects. And of course, this film is a found footage film. It's actually really solid. It borrows a lot of things from the Blair Witch Project, which is one of my favorite, found footage films of all time. And this one is really solid, though. I do like Atrocious. I recommend it for anybody who loves found footage films, or even, I recommend it to people who just kind of like found footage films. This is probably one you will like. After that, we have Big Bad Wolf, which I actually just recently reviewed on a podcast of mine, and it's pretty damn solid. Once again, this is kind of an underseen film. Based on the cover and title, you might just think it's another, crappy werewolf film, but it definitely is a lot better than most werewolf films you see in present day, around this time. It's a lot of fun. I was really surprised with this one. It's definitely underseen. Big Bad Wolf, I definitely recommend you check that one out. Then we have the Banshee chapter. This one I thought was just it was good-ish. I didn't love it. It wasn't bad per se, but it left you wanting a bit more. Cool concept, drugs and dimethyltryptamine, just cool concept, just not executed as well as I would have liked to see. We covered this one on one of my podcasts, 22 Shots, which we did an entire review on it. Then we have Black Sheep. This one I thought was just it was good-ish. I didn't love it. It wasn't bad per se, but it left you wanting a bit more. Cool concept, drugs and dimethyltryptamine, just cool concept, just not executed as well as I would have liked to see. We covered this one on one of my podcasts, 22 Shots, which we did an entire review on it. Then we have Children of the Corn 2 and 3. Now, these films right here, I think are like the only two other okay Children of the Corn films. Of course, the first one is classic. The second one, I actually really like, and I don't know why. It's not a good movie, but it's something that I remember from my childhood, whether I seen it on Monster Vision or just, you know, from the video store. I used to rent it a lot. I used to go back to Children of the Corn 2 a lot, and like I said, I don't know why, but I actually do really like it. Children of the Corn 3, I actually also really like. It's kind of the last okay one. Pretty silly at times, but, you know, it's not a great movie, but at the same time, you can find things in it to enjoy. Then we have Children of the Corn Collection. Now, this one has part 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. I already own part 2 and 3, so I bought it for the others. Children of the Corn 4, I really don't like at all. I think Moods might like it. It's just, it's out of all of them, it's one of my least favorite. Children of the Corn 5 is pretty damn bad, like really bad, but I still find some kind of weird enjoyment out of it. And then part 6, Isaac's Return, huge letdown. You know, Isaac returning, I thought it was going to go back more to the roots. It's very convoluted and annoying, not a good movie. And then Revelations is, I don't even know how you call that a Children of the Corn film. So yeah. Then we have Cujo, which Cujo is definitely a classic, but to me, it doesn't have strong replay. I find the kid in it very annoying, and the more that I watch it, the more I don't want to watch it. So it's been a little while since I revisited this one. The first time you see it, it is very good, very powerful, and then every other time, it's not as good as the first time. It's one of those. Then we have Cursed, which is, of course, a Wes Craven film. I believe Kevin Williamson might have wrote it. Also, I actually kind of enjoy this one a bit. It's weird, you know, it's bad, it's kind of bad, but at the same time, man, I kind of like it. I don't know why. Had a huge problem in production, and, you know, it has an interesting history, but I didn't hate it. I actually kind of liked it, which is, you know, say what you want, I guess. Then we have Dark Ride. This is one of the only After Dark horror films that I own. This is from, I believe, the first series, and it's actually a pretty solid one. This is kind of a slasher set in an amusement park. I liked it. You know, it was pretty cool. I haven't watched it in a long time, but at the time I remember enjoying it. Then we have Dawn of the Dead, and of course, Dawn of the Dead is one of the best zombie films of all time. It's not my first favorite zombie film, or even my second favorite. It might be along the lines of my third or fourth. It is, you know, classic. Of course, you know, living in, you know, southwestern Pennsylvania, it's a really popular movie around here. So yeah, Dawn of the Dead, of course, classic. This is the Ultimate Edition, which I actually never really broke into here and like checked out all the different versions and different, you know, special features and stuff. I would actually like to watch the, I believe it's like the Italian version or whatever. That one would be kind of interesting to check out. I should probably do that pretty soon. And then we have Day of the Dead. Of course, I have a better edition of this, but this is the one. I also have this one. This is the first one I picked up. This is my second favorite zombie film of all time. Very, very good. I love the characters. I love the underground setting. I just love the claustrophobic feel of it. Bub is pretty awesome. It's all around. It's one of the best zombie films ever made, hands down. Then we have an IFC Films here, and that is Dead Snow. This one was really cool. This is the Nazi zombie film from, I believe it's Norwegian, and it's pretty damn good, actually, you know. I remember really enjoying this one the couple times that I've seen it. I haven't revisited it in a while, but it's definitely a very solid IFC film. Then we have The Dead Zone. Of course, this is Christopher Walken, Stephen King, Special Collector's Edition. Stephen King films, especially the early ones, you know, right in a row, you know, with Carrie and, you know, The Dead Zone and the other ones that came out around that time, you know, Salem's Lot and stuff. His first, you know, 5 or 6 were really, really good. And of course, there's tons of good Stephen King films. The Dead Zone is one of the more solid ones. It's good filmmaking, man. The Dead Zone is really solid. Then we have a George Romero Presents Dead Time Stories. This shit is awful. I blind bought this years ago when it first came out. It was like $15. It was, to this day, I think it's one of the worst purchases I've ever made, you know, in terms of the money I spent and what I received out of it. It's just a terrible purchase. This was kind of turned me off on blind buys for a little while. I was so mad with this one. This is only volume 1 too. I don't know if I'll ever grab volume 2. So yeah, very bad. It's, you know, sounded cool, George Romero anthology, but it just was a complete failure. Then we have Decoys, which is it's kind of like a Species ripoff. It's not very good, but you know, it's okay, I guess. I mean, to kill some time, it's not too bad, I guess, but definitely not a very memorable film. And then we have Decoys: The Second Seduction, which is the sequel to the film that's kind of like a Species ripoff. I think the first one was better, but maybe the second one's better. I can't really remember. They're both not very good, but one of them's better than the other. Then we have Demonic Toys. This one is a like Spanish release or something because there's some like rights issues. I don't know. Charlie Band found a way to release to sell Demonic Toys. And this is actually a really solid one. One of the better Full Moon films, and it's kind of like one of the good ones if you want to show people like what Full Moon is. You know, besides Puppet Master, like this is what Full Moon is about. I actually really like Demonic Toys. And then, of course, we have the sequel, Demonic Toys 2, which is just awful. I was so disappointed with this one. This was just terrible. I don't really remember anything about it. Just complete waste of time. I do not recommend you watch Demonic Toys 2. It's a terrible sequel, and yeah, it's one of the worst Full Moon films I've seen. Do not recommend that one at all. So that about wraps it up. Jesus Christ, I can't talk right now. That about wraps it up for part number 5 in this series. I'll see you guys in part 6.